Hello, and welcome to week number 6 of EDT 520. This is the second of our asynchronous online weeks. So I just want to take a moment to go over quickly what the tasks are for this week and to get you set up for what needs to be done. So, in terms of objectives for this week, the main focus this week is going to be on your group game projects. We now have groups selected. You've had an initial discussion about topics and hopefully are zeroing in. So, we're going to continue that process this week on a couple of fronts. The first one basically being that you do need to by the end of this week have a good idea of what the main topic of your game is going to be. You may not know the specifics of every little detail, but you should know roughly what direction your game is headed in. Obviously, to do that, your group is going to need to have a discussion. However works best for your group in terms of having those discussions. You're certainly more than welcome to set up your own Zoom calls or use shared Google resources or whatnot in order to accomplish those discussions. I have set up in the class Moodle 3 Moodle chat rooms that you are welcome to use in your group. You don't have to use them, but I thought I would make them available since they are a feature of Moodle. Those chat rooms, I should say, you do need to all be in the room at the same time. Once a chat room is empty, when another person logs in, they won't necessarily see the conversation that was there before they logged in. So they're good for real-time use if all the members of your group can be in the chat room at the same time. Not so good for leaving messages for each other to come back to later on. So just a bit of a warning about that. So, but if you've got your group has another way that works better for you in terms of having those collaborative discussions, by all means, make use of them. So yeah, as I said, the first thing would be to figure out what your topic is. Once you have that information set, then just go into your page in the game wiki and just update that information. If you're in here, I'm just going to pull up group 1 here. Just basically looking at these 3 things here: possible topics, what your final topic is, and brief description is literally just a brief description. Maybe if you have a rough idea of what kind of a game you're looking to do, or things like that. Obviously, you're going to be working out a lot of the details of the specifics over the next several weeks. So just that step 1 is just to get that information filled in. Then step 2 for this week is to start looking at the instructional design plan for your game. This is a piece of instructional technology, we want to teach things through this, so we should be using the same sort of design considerations that we would for any other thing that we're doing in a classroom. So in the instructional design plan, we use this ADDIE framework, ADDIE, and the first A of ADDIE is analyze, and that is where your focus should be this week. So once you know kind of what your topic is, as a group, you should work your way through this these analyze sections of the instructional design plan. You're trying to address what is the problem you're trying to solve. When you state a problem, you're not even suggesting how you plan to address it. You're just saying there is a problem because students can't do this or don't know this or whatever it is. So that obviously should be the problem that your game is trying to address. The need may sound like the problem, but the need is doing a needs assessment. So that's really more about where is the learning now, what is the current state of things, and where do you want things to be in the end. So what you're looking for is the difference between where we are now and where we want to get to. Now, your group may not be creating this game for a specific population that you know. So you may need to, I don't want to say make up, but you may have to come up with a scenario that you can kind of create this game towards. So if you have a real world classroom that you want to use as kind of as your test target, you can certainly use them. but you may, for some of these things, be having to kind of project a possible population. Next one is about your audience. Who are you building this game for? That's obviously issues of what age group, what kind of a school setting is it, things like that. Anything that might influence how the game is created in terms of maybe its complexity or its language use or anything like that. So you want to have a clear idea of who your audience is. Again, if you're not going to use an actual real world existing sort of class as your target, you can feel free to kind of invent a target population that you're building this game for. Any learning outcomes, these are students will be able to, or students will know, or the I can statement kinds of things, depending on what you're familiar with. There should be a couple of learning outcomes for the game. And then content is not, again, I'm not looking for the specifics of the game itself. This content is really referring more to what is the content area that the game is working within. If there are standards, educational standards that can be brought in. So, for example, for me, if I was doing a game that was a music game, then I might make reference to some of the national common art standards, which are the standards that we use to teach to. So, if it's a math game, you might want to look at some of the math standards for the age group that you're looking at. So this is really the main goal for this week, is once you have your topic selected, is to go through and start to kind of set the stage so that moving forward, you know what problem you're trying to address, what are the outcomes you're trying to get out of the game, who is the game for, and so on. So as your group works on this, fill in these answers. It should be like a paragraph per each thing. Please do write in complete sentences. But I'm also not looking for an entire research paper here. So just like a paragraph or maybe 2 paragraphs per each of these prompts is going to be fine. And just fill it right in here on the wiki page, go into the edit mode, and then just type in your answers here. One thing I should say about wiki, if I didn't say it last week, is make sure only one person is editing a given page at a time. In fact, wiki, the Moodle framework may not let people log into the page if they're trying to edit at the same time. So, but that'll just avoid having overlapping things. So within your group, maybe have one person be the person that's doing the entry into the wiki. So that is the main group work for this week, is to get your game topics selected and then to work on that ID plan, the analyze phase of the ID plan. Really, the only other work this week is there is a discussion forum, which is going to start us to launch into the other project of this course, which is the gamification project. I just want to, the discussion forum is just about seeing what you may or may not know already about the word gamification. If you don't know anything, don't think that you have to go out and look it up or do research. I'm kind of just interested in seeing what you know already. So it's okay to either take a guess at a description, or just to flat out say, I really have no idea what this concept is about. If you have run into the term or have some ideas, feel free to put those in. And, again, just come back and look at what other people have posted. And if you have meaningful responses for them, get those posted as well. I just realized I didn't put it in here, but the other thing is that your Scratch projects are technically due next week as well. So I'll put that in here, particularly under the homework page. But that is the other thing to be focusing on finishing up this week, is getting those Scratch projects done and submitting the paperwork to the Moodle assignment and putting the Scratch projects themselves into the studio in our Scratch classroom. All right, that is basically it. So contact me if you have questions. Most of the work this week, as you can see, is going to involve you figuring out how to have those conversations with the rest of your group members. So get that established, and I will be seeing everybody in 1 week online again in real time. So enjoy your week, and we'll see you soon.